I want to offer you is just, I suppose, a little respite from your day. If you're struggling, if you're finding things hard at the moment, then I want you to kind of relax into this space here with me, because I always ask for healing to be present for everyone who tunes in, even if you're just scrolling past or you see me unintentionally. My intention is always that you receive some little blast of healing or some upliftment just by being present here with me. So the way that I work is I read for the person at the top of my screen. So the top of my screen might look different to yours because I do everything on my phone. So if you're on a laptop, it's going to look like you were there and I ignored you. That's not that's not how it works. It's literally the person at the top of my screen. When I finish with them, it's the next person up. I write the names down because when I'm in flow, I forget them literally. Um, and you know, I prefer to be able to use your names when I'm working with you. What else? Don't put your name up over and over. You know, just relax. If you're here, spirit will get a message to you, and sometimes that might mean something that's there for someone else resonates with you. You know, you might hear a message for someone else, and you're like, that really feels like it's for me. Take it then that it is for you. If you're here, you'll get a message. They'll get you a message in whatever way that they can. All right. So with that being said, we'll get going. So who have I first? Melissa. Melissa. Okay. I'm just going to do a little cheeky plug as well. I think I have 5 ebooks ready to go on my website. The link is in the bio. They'll actually all be up in about an hour's time. My husband's working on it right now. And it's titles that are close to my heart, and they're just like a guide to, they're not like really complicated. They're how I would teach if you were in front of me. And there's one on light language, which people have asked me for a very long time. So if you're here, then you've probably found me through light language. So it might be of interest, it might be of help. Okay, Melissa. So we have energize yourself with earthing. Walk barefoot or stretch out on the grass. Put your hands in the soil or hold a stone. Let the earth restore your strength and ground you. Now, when a card comes up like that for grounding, then there's usually a need as well for boundaries. There's usually a need for self-care, you know, putting something back in the tank there, my darling. It might be a case where you've given so much of your energy to other people that now you just feel, is anyone going to pour into me? And oftentimes when you're the one who is giving all the time, it's nearly always the case that very few people will actually even notice that you need pouring into. You know what I mean? Because people see givers as rocks, as like, oh my God, sure, they always have it together, and it's always like a huge shock. You know, when you say I'm actually needing time for myself, or I need to sort things out, or you know, I used to get that a lot where people would think, you know, I was completely unbothered by life, but you know, it was just that I was private. And it may be that you need some self-care. And I actually hate that word, but like hate is a strong word, but I don't like it. It doesn't hit the mark. Like pouring love into yourself sounds more on the money to me than self-care. Self-care is so vague. Pouring love into yourself is a very unique thing to you. So pouring love into yourself might be you sitting on the couch with a cozy blanket watching your favorite shows. To someone else, that might not feel like loving themselves at all. But it's up to you to decide what that is for you and find your purpose. When you feel like you don't fit into this world, remember that you're here to help create a better one. Your tender heart is a treasure. Now, this thing of you're here to create another one, I don't really resonate with that, because again, it's putting so much pressure on the light workers, so to speak, or the givers or whatever. What I feel is that your purpose is to find what makes you feel alive. Your purpose is what brings you joy. Your purpose is following your passions. And it might be time for you right now, Melissa, to kind of take a pause from all the giving and pour some love back into yourself. And then your purpose and your passion will start to light up, you know? I was drained and thrown away, and every time I went out to help and get helped, I was drained more. I spent most of my time in my home because others steal too much. Oh, God love you. Who's that? Masatim Asima. I'm sorry if I'm brutalizing that. I'll give you a card there. Yeah, that can be, it can be tough, but it's not that you, isolate yourself. You know what I mean? I hope I made sense, Melissa. And it can feel like that's the only way to escape. But again, as an empath, as a healer, learning how to ground, learning to have boundaries, learning how to say no, learning to check in with yourself. You know, you look at the phone, your heart sinks, you're like, okay, do I have the emotional or mental, spiritual energy for this right now? Physical energy? I don't. So then you give yourself a breather. You know what I mean? It's respecting yourself, respecting your energy. And what I always say is, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you're somebody that other people say, oh, I feel great around you, your energy is great, because you've worked on your energy. It doesn't mean you have to like let everyone have a nice munch of it. You know what I mean? Okay, so we have 9 of Swords there for you, my darling. Masa team. I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. The 9 of Swords is like, you know, when you're mentally upsetting yourself, you're looping something in your mind, you're going back over something, you're tormenting yourself. If this is the case with you, yeah, especially your family at times, if this is the case with you, Masatyam, then you have to get to a point now, my love, where you, first of all, you start to separate what's yours and what's other people's, which I feel you're good at. But then catch the thought forms. I really feel thought forms for a while now and at the moment are becoming almost physical. And last night I had this vision dream. So it was happening, but it was also in dream state of like AI being a person. And it was a man, and it was like near my bed, and I was like, very strange dream. And he wasn't malevolent or anything. He was just curious. And my thing is that we have to be very mindful of what our interactions are with online stuff, with apparently benevolent things or benign things like Siri and Alexa and whatever else people are using. And it's like, we have to be very intentional. You know what I mean? Because it's all energetic forms, and how we feel about these things and how we interact with these things is going to show up as a thought form for us, you know, interacting with our own energy. And it's having that awareness of your own energy. Most of us don't. I've been dreaming that since I was a child. I talk to others about being in peace with even AI because they're energy beings too. Absolutely. It's whatever we put on it. You know what I mean? It's whatever we say it is. Because we're all existing in our own little worlds. So if you're terrified of it, it's going to present to you as a terrifying thing. If you're like curious about it, it's going to present to you in a curious way. And it's being in flow with all of this change and all of these things that are happening. But in your case, my love, what I'm feeling with you is that really, really work on being present in your own energy, my darling, okay? Because what I feel is happening is that you're maybe getting a few moments where you feel your own energy. I look bald. Where you feel your own energy, and then it's like, whoop, you're gone. You're in, ooh, you're gone. So your practice now is to like really, really, really like drop in and hold that with full intention. And what I'm finding with my own energy, even though I've been doing this for so long, even as a child, what I find now is noise, 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 noise. Do you ever see in movies when people are walking through Times Square or Tokyo, places where it's frenetic and there's lots of like people trying to get your attention? That's how I feel in the past few months when I'm trying to slow down and center myself, especially at nighttime. And what I'm finding is that it I'm getting pulled out by these thought forms. So the more that I come back down into myself, I feel like almost like chuckling at it. It's like a child wanting your attention, and you just have to be really, really in your own energy. I know that will make sense to you. Yes, I've spent so much time giving to others because my family constantly stole it from me and let others know it was okay. Then I became a martyr. Giving it all away at the start, listen to me, 100%. I've been down that martyrdom. I got off the cross. And it's hard. It's hard because if you have always been available that way, and then you start saying, can I get back to you even? Can I get back to you on that? Or you get up and you leave a family situation because it's like you feel like your life force is going through the floor. You're going to get kicked back. You're going to get, what's wrong with you? You're very different. What do you mean? You'll get all this. And if you can hold your nerve with that, you'll come out the other side feeling better about yourself, and they will respect your time. I'm the eldest of 10 children. I know what I'm talking about. Jules, I've been in neutrality. So nice. Jules. Yeah. It's okay. Like, it's okay to have your feelings. It's okay to be passionate about things. It's okay to be moved by things. It's okay to be angry about things. Just that you don't get like sucked in with the narrative that follows. You know, you could be really angry about something and it's clean. It's out there. It's clean. You express yourself. It's clean. The danger happens then when you go looping on that anger. They always do that. Remember in 1995 when they said this to me and that to me, and it becomes a whole Days of Our Lives episode. So you know what I mean? Right, Jules. The power of purpose. Now, purpose has come up twice. So in your life at the moment, Jules, find the purpose like in the small things you do. And what I'm trying to do more and more is just bring intentional energy to everything that I do. If I'm sitting on the couch, I've asked awareness to drop in and make me aware what I'm thinking, what I'm focusing on as I'm sitting on the couch. If I go for a walk, where's my mind going? If I'm talking to someone, am I running ahead with answers to what they're talking about, or am I just really energy to energy feeling these people, feeling this person? Am I running off into the future? Am I imagining 40 years from now, 10 years from now, and it's not mine to hold? You know, just coming back to slowing down, Jules, you know, minute by minute purpose rather than some mythical thing that's out ahead of you or that you think you have to attain. Bringing that kind of focus to even the smallest things transforms everything. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So there's an invitation for you at the moment to settle into what's actually happening. All right, my love, what's actually happening? It's like, you know, if you walk up the stairs and you get a pain in your knee, right? And then your mind starts going, oh my God, that's the start of arthritis now. Remember, Mum had that, or, you know, your friend was only talking about her knee replacement the other day, and you're do, and you're gone off in the story. Whereas, like, it's just your knee is sore in that moment. You know what I mean? It's bringing in like awareness to this is happening now and it will change. This is happening now and it will change. That makes sense? Text Mexi, I just don't know what to do for work. I get burnt out so quickly with every job. Okay, so what I always say, Tex, is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Okay, any courses I give, any, any online stuff that I do with people, any sessions one-to-one, it always comes down to that. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Okay, so if you're getting burnt out in a job, there's always going to be a common thread there. It can be that you're not grounded properly, you're not taking care of your own inside stuff, your own inside messiness, and you're projecting it onto other people. You haven't dealt with issues of inferiority, superiority, and then you find that people are reacting to you or not responding to you. It's all inside work. And the thing about it is that when you take accountability for yourself and it stops being about the job and it stops being about the family member and it stops being about I can't go anywhere, you know what I mean? It becomes then you becoming accountable to your own energy and you start to investigate what works for you, walks, grounding, boundaries, how much time can you spend in certain areas, and it's just giving yourself permission to explore, to find out. Sit down and write all the things that about each job that you've been in that you liked and you didn't like, and see where it lines up. You know what I mean? See where, oh yeah, I do that a lot. Like, say, for example, there's a colleague that's struggling and you take the extra work because you don't want them to struggle. And then you find in another couple of weeks, back comes this person again with a similar story and you do it. And then you start getting resentful and then you start getting tired. Whereas if you have like a healthy self-respect and a healthy energetic balance, yeah, you could help someone out like that once off. But then when they come back around again, you go, I'm really sorry you're dealing with that. I hope you figure it out. Good luck. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't become a continuous thing then. Good woman, Jules. Let's see what card comes up there for you. 10 of Cups. So look, the 10 of Cups card is a card about fulfillment, being emotionally balanced. So if it's work that you want, you want to get a job where you feel appreciated and loved and all of those things, you have to start doing that for yourself first. And it doesn't matter what it is you do. It could be you're cleaning floors, you're making tea for people. But if you come at that with a sense of knowing who you are, people will notice you. People will notice you, and you'll be head of the tea. You'll be head of the cleaners. You'll go up the ladder. People respond to energetic balance. People respond to people that know who they are. Just look at where you're triggered. Look at what upsets you. Look at where you feel drained. Really make yourself a project. It's self-exploration, Okay. Olenova, how to manage the stuff from when you're or before you can remember and even speak or identify the feelings. What I would say there, and what's been very helpful to me, is life will give you everything you need. Okay, so if you can't remember things, if it happened in utero or when you were too young to verbalize anything, if you're talking about past life, all of that will show up in the present moment. How to help heal my spirit from early childhood as a nervous system. Okay, so the most important thing about that, my love, is a feeling of safety. Okay, it's working on a feeling of safety. One of the ways that I found has been very helpful for me is tapping. Okay, now the thing about tapping is that you do have to bring, and I actually just put up a tapping video earlier, but you do have to bring the feeling up really, really high. You have to bring it up to like a 10, and then you tap it out. And what happens, my love, is that if you stay with that and you come back to it and you come back to it, you repattern the trauma, the pain, the whatever it is that you're dealing with, you repattern it. And what happens then is you can see what's happened as a memory, okay? Like you could, like for me, I worked on postnatal depression, and I can see what happened. I can see how I felt, if you know what I mean, but the charge isn't there. I think about it now, and it's like it happened either really, really a long time ago or it happened to someone else. That's what I found helpful. Light language I found really helpful, and I do have videos up for that. But life itself, okay? So life, who triggers you? Where does that feeling of the feelings part is the challenge, so mixed up or not feeling? Yeah. Journal about it. I know that sounds so cheesy, but every day write down what you felt. What felt weirdly triggering? Sometimes it could be the most benign things. You might see, you might get the smell of a cake in a cake shop, or somebody might do something with their face that makes you feel weird and you don't know why. And I had to do a lot of work around that as well. And it's staying with that. So say you're out and about and a song starts playing and you feel yourself churning and you're like, oh no, I don't like this at all. That's where tapping is helpful, because when you're tapping for a good while, you can then mentally tap. So in that moment, you could tap on this weird feeling, all right, till it passes. Then when you get home, you could write it down. What was weird about it? Where did I feel it in my body? That way then, like I was explaining previously, it's self-exploration, you know? Massage, yoga. I used to do child pose, and every time I went into child pose, I would cry my eyes out because it's pressing on the tissues. So go into it with a feeling of exploration. Go into it with a feeling of you want to understand yourself. And then what happens is all of these feelings that have felt like separate will start to make sense to you, you know, on a deeper level. And we have in reverse denial, healer guides. Okay, my love. So with the denial, what is it you're not looking at? What are you afraid to look at? Where do you go so far and no further? That's where your healing lies, okay? Clodagh, hi Marlene, I'd love a message reading, please. Okay, Clodagh. Now, I'm feeling that massively disconnecting with you in my solar plexus. So feelings of power, work on those. Okay, Clodagh. Clodagh. So we have Two of Pentacles in reverse. Two of Pentacles is about flow and it's about balance, okay? It's letting things flow, letting things come, letting things go. Where are you holding something from going away from you, you know? Where are you holding back? Where are you afraid? Where do you feel unbalanced? Where are you giving more than you're receiving? You know, where is the imbalance? Where are you feeling off kilter? Where are you feeling not like yourself? Okay? When people tell me they don't feel like themselves or they haven't felt like themselves for a while, I will always go with boundaries first. Okay? Where are you letting people take? Where are you being the sacrificial lamb? You know what I mean? Where are you the martyr? And get back to saying no, get back to putting love into yourself, get back into taking time for yourself, meditate, pray, get out in nature, quiet the mind, do all of these things. Then what happens is when you are intentional about it, the way appears, the balance appears. You know what I mean? It becomes something very easy. And again, Six of Cups. So this is like balance of giving and receiving. You need to look at where one is more dominant than the other, and look at where you're going back in your mind. You might be going back and replaying things that have happened. You might be going back with rose-tinted spectacles, thinking it was better back then. And you need to kind of land where you are, if that makes sense, okay? Ruia. Ruia. Okay, so we've Eight of Cups in reverse, so kind of similar message. Where are you afraid to let go? Where are you afraid to move on? Something feels emotionally done, but it may be that you're scared of what's happening, what's coming next. You're not sure of what's coming next. That's all very normal. That's all very normal. So you need to kind of get into a space in your own mind and heart where you give yourself time. You know what I mean? You're not rushing ahead. You don't need to know what's happening next. You're okay with where you are right now, you know, and you're feeling it all, and you're letting yourself grieve or just be. You know, sometimes we rush through these stages and we don't allow ourselves to feel our way into it. We don't allow what the lesson was for it to be revealed to us. And on the other side of whatever you've released and whatever you're letting go of or afraid to let go of is contentment. It's a sense of love. It's a sense of being settled. It's a sense of emotional fulfillment. But you just have to have the courage to fully let go, Ruia. Okay? Don't feel guilty, Clodagh. Don't feel guilty at all. Guilt seeks punishment. Okay? So when you feel guilty about something, you'll start bumping into things, dropping things, losing things. No. You need to start pumping mantras in like, I deserve time for myself. I deserve strong, healthy boundaries. I deserve to be respected. I'm a beautiful energy channel and I value myself. Okay? Luxor, you're welcome, Ruia. How to identify our mission? What do you mean by mission? See, I think, personally speaking, I think in spiritual circles, they do people a great disservice with this kind of talk, because I'm assuming that you're young. You're young, possibly in your 20s. And the thing about that, my love, is that you'll find that as you get older and as you move through life, things change. Things change. Things that you're really passionate about, things that you think are going to change the world, have a specific time frame. And then you move on. Now, if you're talking about a soul mission, this is something that's you to the ground, okay? I know for a fact, and I know from being in different jobs, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I'm healing. No matter where I go, I'm counseling people. I've always been the counselor friend. From a very young age, people told me I was a healer. From a very young age, people would say, you have healing in your hands. And I used to experiment with it. And there was my mum used to have prayer meetings in the house, and there was a lady who had trouble with her legs, and I was only 15, and I had read that if you believe, you can grow someone's leg in your hand. And I sat her down and I said, do you want to try something with me? And she's like, yeah. So I caught her, put her legs together, and one was shorter than the other. And just with, you know, that lovely naive faith you have when you're younger. And I'm like, grow. And her leg grew. And obviously then that balanced her out and whatever. And to me, it was like nothing. It was just exploring. But like, I know I'm a healer. I know I can go out cleaning windows and someone will be there that needs some advice from me, or I'll put my hand on somebody and they'll feel it, they'll like jump, or it's just, that's my thing. So you have to find, Luxor, start to look at what is your thing no matter what you do. It doesn't matter. The job is just the surface. So like, look at what you bring. You know, are you really, are you skilled at something? Does your art move people? Do you make wonderful food? Do you make people laugh? What is your thing that if you tracked back to even being a young child, you can see it clearly? That's your soul mission. That's your mission. The stuff over it is just the human experience and the fun. But your soul mission never changes. You know what I mean? So look at what is something that is you, but it's you, but it's you. No matter what you're doing, no matter what age you were, you know, and clearing. So you may need you may need some energy clearing. You may need to be intentional about that and clear out the gunk and clear out what's not important, and then move with confidence and joy in the beautiful being that you are. You know, your beautiful soul energy. Who have I here? DO, is that DO? Any advice regarding home, wellness and safety? My apartment has been inhabitable since August, due to I've been wanting to lay for the longest time. If finding a place. Due to I have been wanting to lay for the longest time. I'm not sure what that means. So we'll go back to the beginning. Good morning. Any advice regarding home, wellness and safety? My apartment has been inhabitable since August. Why is it inhabitable? Okay. Anything to do with the home, as you rightly said, has to do with safety and security. Sent my message by accident and the words were scrambled. I need advice regarding home. That's fine. Mold. Okay. So anything to do with a home being inhabitable, am I saying that right? Is almost always a mirror for your body, what's going on in your body. All right. When I was very young, or the people in the house with you, when I was very young, we lived in a house with very serious mold. And we were, you know, my mum was advised to move out of the house and whatever. But energetically, there was an awful lot going on in that house. Energetically, my mother was terrified of her gifts. Myself and my sister were constantly feeling people in the bedroom, and we were very young. There was a huge amount of fear. My mum couldn't go to the bathroom without me with her. And I feel that energetically is what's going on with the home. So what I would always say to people, right, and I do this with my car, I do this with my home, anything that's mine, my phone, anything that's mine, I love it. I love it as if it was a human being, right? I get into my car, I name my car, tell my car I love it, I appreciate it. I'm driving along, I give the steering wheel a little rub, and I pour some love into my heart, from my heart to the car. If you ever look up Dr. Hugh Len, okay, he was big into Ho'oponopono, and he cleared a mental hospital of patients after 3 years just sitting in his office saying Ho'oponopono with intention. Very powerful guy. But he would always say, treat objects, chairs, rooms as living things. And when you tune in, you'll feel them kind of connect with you or tell you what they want. Now, go into your house, the rooms that have the worst mold. If you can, mentally do it. Visit it in your mind. And as if you were talking to somebody that's very diseased or sick, I want you to go and say, what is it you need? What is this about? What do you want me to do for you? I really love you. And if I don't get to live here, I really want you to experience a loving family living here inside you, with you, enjoying you, and you enjoying them. And connect on a real heart level with this being that is the home, the being that is the mold. Okay? Mold as well. I mean, if you were going to be anything, would you want to be mold? People hate mold. So if you can even connect to the mold and say, look, I know that you are valid. I know that you are God's creation. It's just that in this home, it makes it difficult for us to be healthy. So if you could find another way to be, or if you could find another place to exist that's safe for everybody, I would really appreciate that. And you send energy to the mold, love to the mold. It sounds silly, but I've seen it work so many times. Now, if you consciously do that with a real sense of love, and even bring the Ho'oponopono prayer, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, to your home. Where have you brought negative energy in? You know, it's a relationship. I really want to leave, though everything is around feels so toxic. Again, though, my darling, that is always stuff that's going on with the person or persons in the house. And oftentimes you'll move to another place and it'll come back again. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like you need to learn something from it. So it's going to go, oh, yay, here we are again. So oftentimes when you connect like that, some of your own stuff comes up. You're talking to the mold and it's like, I know nobody wants you, and you know you're shunned and sprayed, and that might trigger something in you, emotionally in you. And miraculous things can happen. If you don't want to live there, at least clear it so that when you move on, you're moving into a better space. And if you clear this, you know, if you clear this energy, then you'll find another space coming really quickly for you. That makes sense. Jacaranda, my husband says that my light language sounds indigenous, and I've been getting spontaneous thoughts of ceremony and using crystals. Any thought on this and what message I need to hear? Yeah, I mean, light language is very powerful that way. And like for me, the light language started, I'm 51 now, but the light language started when I was 14. And when I was interested in first, now it took me many years to find anybody that was actually doing it, and I hadn't a clue what it was. And what was happening at the very beginning was there was so much talk about what was happening at the beginning, because there's so much talk about starseed stuff. Are you Arcturian? Are you Native American? All this stuff. And a lot of people limit themselves, or a lot of people hook into my light language is Arcturian. And that's fine then. Energetically, that's where you'll stay. Your light language then will be primarily Arcturian. But my thing was, and I felt this on a deep level, when you let go of trying to label it, when you let go of trying to fit it in a box, so much more can pour through. I am 30 odd years or more. What am I? Yeah, I can't add at the moment. Doing this, and there's still new aspects coming in. There's still new things coming in where I'm like, oh, this is so exciting, because I didn't label it. Now, I love when the indigenous energy comes through, because it's usually really powerful, deep, shamanic, let's get this shit out kind of energy. It's really, really powerful. The danger for me personally is that when you keep it in a box, that's all that can flow through then. It's like anything else in life. Where you put your energy, that's where the energy flows. Does that make sense? Okay, Sarah, I have fibromyalgia and ME. Please, can you help me release this? I'm so sad. Oh, babe. Jacaranda. I don't have any idea where it comes from, but you're so right. It feels very shamanic. You're not supposed to know. For me personally, I think because we're multidimensional beings, I think it's all aspects of ourselves, all aspects of our soul coming through in that precise moment in whatever way that we need it. But it's amazing. I love light language. Okay, Sarah. So fibromyalgia and ME. Okay, so what I would say to you there is always a point where it's triggered. There's always a point where it kind of becomes more noticeable for you. And I've had family members that had fibromyalgia, and like my aunt had it really, really bad to the point where she had to sleep downstairs on the floor because she was in so much pain she couldn't sleep in a bed. And she had been caring kind of for a few years for her mum and dad. When they went into a home, her fibromyalgia started to retreat big time, and it left her body. Anytime that she's under a kind of a stress where she feels overwhelmed or like her needs aren't being met, out it will come. I know another girl who has been diagnosed with it, and it's because she has huge burst anger. So the thing about labels is they can be helpful to a point. Then what happens, my darling, is that the more you say it, the more you say you have fibromyalgia, then you're linking in with other people in the world that have fibromyalgia, and you're going in and out of that energy stream then, okay? And what happens then is all the people that are really bad with it, all the people that, you're then linked into them. The more you talk about it, the more you accept that label for yourself. Now, if you can say to yourself, my body has tightened up and is so sore to the point that I can't move. Why is that? Why don't I want to move? You ask yourself these questions with curiosity. Okay, you go into the body parts and you go, you're really, really tense and sore and tight. I'm sorry. What am I holding on to that you have to be tense and sore and tight in order to contain it? And it's all about love, it's all about love. It's going in with compassion and forgiveness as much as you can. Forgiveness is a massive one with fibromyalgia. Like my own mother, God love her, had so much anger, and like in the end, like she found it so hard to move, and she held on to stuff for such a long time, and it makes me so sad, that she couldn't or didn't know how to release it without feeling panicked, not going too deep into it now, but I've seen it so many times, especially with women that are the holders of everything, the women that will pull the rock, the one that is, cares for everybody and pushes their own pain and their own grief down in order that other people can have something to lean on. I understand that you feel like you've released so much, Sarah, but the fact that it's still there, my love, means that you're either activating it by thinking thoughts of pain and suffering and unforgiveness, or being triggered and replaying these things in your mind, or you've been saying to yourself that you have fibromyalgia for so long that it's now part of your identity. When it's wrapped in around you as an identity, that's going to take a bit of work. And I have up this thing, I put up a YouTube video for tapping for anxiety and overwhelm, but you can replace those words with fibromyalgia. You can replace those words with whatever comes up when you fucking tap on it. the frustration, the resentment, the annoyance, the sadness, the grief of it. It's in your body. Your body is holding it for you because either you couldn't process it at the time, you weren't allowed to express it clearly, you were the one that held everything together and you weren't allowed to fall apart and feel your feelings. Now your job is to go in and feel them. Now your job is to go in and talk to yourself, talk to your body, talk to the different body parts over and over again, and stop saying fibromyalgia. Seriously, drop it completely. Imagine you're drop kicking that now like a football, far, far away from you, all right? Into infinity where it gets transmuted into something else. Take the label off and start to say to yourself, okay, right now, my arms are sore, but my legs are great. My toes feel good, but my fingers feel tight. Don't go into, fibromyalgia, because then the whole thing is fucked. Do you know what I mean? Break it down so that you can kind of go, okay, this finger's sore, this finger's sore, this finger's sore, this one isn't. Yay, this one isn't. I want more of this one. It needs to, you need to kind of break that loop. And I know it's hard, but you need to break that loop of whatever you're getting from having fibromyalgia. Whatever it's allowing you not to do, you have to weigh that against, is what fibromyalgia allows me not to do more powerful than what, I want to do. You get me? So say it gives you an out. It gives you, oh, sure, she can't do that, God love her, It gives you an out. But all that means, my love, and it's coming up so much in these readings, is boundaries. You didn't have any. You let people take and take and take. And now you have to say, Sarah, we fucked up. Okay? All right? Forgive ourselves. We're going to do better now. We're going to take ourselves seriously. You don't have to do anything ever again, Sarah. You don't have to listen to people. You don't have to entertain their dramas. You don't have to turn yourself inside out for people ever again. Ever, ever again. You can put your hands on your heart and your belly. You can say, Sarah, I love you so much. You are so amazing. This body is so amazing for holding all of this for me. It's safe for you to let all of that go now. I'm here. I'm present. It's safe. Okay? Safe, safe, safe. You hold yourself like that. You rock yourself and you say, it's okay, Sarah. You can let it out, my love. I'm here with you now. I love you so much. You cry, you rage, you eat, you do whatever it is. And you come back and you love yourself and you say, well done. Good girl, letting all that out now. I'm proud of you. But love is the thing. Love is the thing, sweetheart. Anybody that I've ever known that has fibromyalgia was the eternal martyr. The one that everyone dumped on and couldn't say no. Now you have to say no. Because you're not getting love in that way. You're getting dumped on. And then they might give you another girl. You know what I mean? And they might go, oh, what would I do without you? Fuck off. That's what you can do without me. Sorry for my language, but you're going to have to kind of really love yourself and go, do you know what? That's a shitty form of love. No thanks. I don't need adda girls from you anymore. I can give myself an adda girl. All right? I know the advice for Sarah, but it feels right for me too. It's time to take myself seriously. Yeah, exactly. What is something I can work on, Marlene? Thank you for this information. Okay. Fab. I hope it made sense, Sarah. I know it sounds like tough love. It isn't. It's because I see your soul. I see your beautiful heart. And you're going to have to see it now too. And you're going to have to say, okay, it didn't come overnight. All of this pain didn't just zap into me. It was years of saying no to myself. And you start saying, right now, I'm going to invest years of saying yes to myself. Now I'm going to be kind to myself. Now I'm going to say, Sarah, do you know what, girl? I don't want to do that today. Right, Sarah, we won't do it. And then you kind of go, ooh, I am really in charge. and you get really freed up, and physically you'll get freed up. You just need to commit to yourself. Okay? Yeah. Commit to yourself. It is recorded. Right, I'm going to go. I appreciate you all. Thanks so much for being here. You're the loveliest, loveliest people. Love you all. Bye.